afternoon, everybody. My name is Kelly Payton. I've been the owner-operator of Cobourg Cab since 2018. Since taking over Cobourg Cab, I've advocated for the industry, and with thorough communication and cooperation with town and staff and council, over the years I've seen many positive changes. I would like to make it clear to council that despite what you may have been informed, the taxi industry is not on board with this move to bring in a huge out-of-town corporation, which will undoubtedly affect local jobs and service to our most valuable citizens. I recognise that there are huge gaps in the town transport system, and council and staff are just trying to do their jobs by trying to resolve those issues. However, one of my main concerns is what has happened in other cities may happen here in Cobourg. Initially, there will be an influx of drivers in the first 6 months or so, ultimately affecting local companies, resulting in local job losses, decreased hours of operation, and possible closure altogether. After 12 to 14 months, when drivers dwindle off as they try to make an actual consistent wage elsewhere, it could inevitably leave a bigger gap in the market than we already started with, as most local companies, which we only have 3 at the moment, will have gone out of business or considerably reduced service, giving Y-Drive the monopoly. Where will this leave people who can't or won't use an app-based company like our seniors and most vulnerable citizens? Today I'm not here to oppose the new vehicle for hire bylaw, because I believe, despite consumer and industry feedback, it's coming anyway, but it's to voice my opinion and concerns as to why they are not being held to the same standards as ourselves. I'm all in favour of healthy competition. I stand here today with the support of Ganaraska Taxi and King Taxi. However, neither of them could make it today due to business demands. However, if we're all in the same field, we should all be playing by the same rules. And why, after decades of regulation, why do we now seem to be changing the huge rules and bend over for a big out-of-town incorporation? For decades, the town has always incorporated Section 1.156 of the Municipal Act 2001 and regulated fares for the protection of the customer and to protect against price gouging. However, now we have TNCs in the mix. It's been deemed that the public no longer need this protection. This will result in the little fish being undercut and wiped out by the big fish, and then increasing their prices when this is demanded. I understand why myself and other drivers are required to provide the town with all the necessary screening documents, police checks, driver's abstracts, car safety certificates, but why are TNC drivers not? They only have to provide theirs to the TNC company where they are registered. I'm also concerned that, as far as I'm aware, no taxi company who is insured under high-risk facility insurance, which I believe we all are in Cobourg, can fulfil Section 16.3c, which states insurance documents are to be provided 5 days prior to expiry. We do not receive our official documentation in the mail for weeks, sometimes months after renewal. We do receive email confirmation and temporary insurance slips. I'm hoping that this will suffice, as the new fines set out in Section 21.1 and 21.3 states I'm going to be subject to a $50,000 fine for the first offence and a $10,000 per day, so I would really like written clarification on that. In Staff Report LS 2024-12, page 4, it stated that the proposed regulation recommends prohibiting TNC drivers from accepting street hails and limiting the hailing of rides exclusively through the TNC's app for consumer purposes. Page 6 states, as TNCs are restricted to using an app for the arrangements of rides. Yet in the chart on page 5 of the report, it states TNCs can arrange rides by phone. page 10 states, the proposed bylaw does not restrict this method, form that is, for arranging rides. This seems to be conflicting information with the recommendation on page 4. This means that ultimately TNCs will be operated as a taxi, accepting phone calls and cash payments for rides, which is in conflict with the page 4 statement, which recommends TNC rides to be arranged exclusively via the app. As I said earlier, I'm not here to oppose facing new competition. It's about keeping it as fair as possible across the board, whilst providing the customer and the public with the safety and protection necessary. It's about the town hopefully doing its best to support and protect the public and its local small businesses, which provide local employment and support to the community. It's about ensuring longevity to this already dwindling industry, which provides vital services to our most vulnerable citizens, not just this year or next year, but for decades.